on Grady Newsource. UGA hosts their first ever Johnny Ikinson Symposium on political civility to encourage respectful political debate. Jackson County residents will find out who will win Woman of the Year on Wednesday. Grady Newsource introduces you to one of the nominees. And later, how Winder honored its veterans with a memorial for soldiers who have served our country. All that and more coming up on Grady Newsource.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College of the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Neighborhood shooting this morning. Grady Newsource reporter Hadia Williams joins us live from the scene with the latest on the investigation. Hadia, what do we know? Logged 2 fatal crashes over the weekend. I'm joined now by Grady Newsource reporter Sailor Betts with details on 2.
Apologize for those technical difficulties, folks. We're having some issues with our prompter, but thank you for that introduction, Kelsey. The first of those 2 fatal crashes occurred Friday morning around 12:40 a.m. One vehicle struck a pedestrian on the Georgia 10 outer loop near Chase Street. Once police arrived at the scene, the 59-year-old pedestrian was located in the outer loop center median and pronounced dead at the scene. The police department's initial investigation indicates that a driver of a 1990 Honda Accord was traveling west in the inside lane when he collided with the pedestrian. Currently, there are no pending charges for the driver. The investigation of this fatal crash remains ongoing. Anyone with information about the incident is asked to call Athens-Clarke County Senior Police Officer Dustin Tilley by email or phone. The second of these 2 fatal crashes occurred Saturday afternoon around 12:25 p.m. Police responded to a report of a vehicle leaving the roadway on Buddy Christian Way. The police department's initial investigation determined that a 2018 Toyota Camry was driving eastbound on Buddy Christian Way. As the driver passed the Athens Regional Police Academy and began negotiating the curve, he crossed over the center line and into oncoming traffic and left the roadway. Athens-Clarke County Fire and Emergency Services and EMS removed the driver from the vehicle. EMS then transported the driver to a local hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. The investigation of this fatal crash also remains ongoing. In this case, anyone with information about the incident is asked to contact Athens-Clarke County Sergeant Vincent Schill by email or phone. So far in 2023, the number of fatal crashes in Athens-Clarke County is up approximately 45% from 2022's total number. Last year, Athens-Clarke County Police reported 11 fatal crashes in the county. This year, that number has risen to 16 crashes so far, resulting in 17 fatalities. It's the county's second most fatal crashes within a calendar year since 2019, behind 24 crashes in 2021. The Athens-Clarke County Police Department has a public transparency website for more information on the county's history of fatal crashes. For Grady Newsource, I'm Sailor Betts. Back to you, Kelsey.
UGA hosted the first annual Johnny Ikinson Symposium to honor its legacy of political civility. Grady Newsource reporter Aiden Coulter reports on the event and audience reactions.
Right here on this stage, Senators Joe Manchin and Roy Blunt honor Johnny Isakson's legacy of public civility and finding a common interest in solving problems in order to advance the public good. Isaacson was a Georgia senator that led by example. Democrat Senator Manchin says that Johnny would address the Senate floor by calling everyone his friend.
Now, I don't know if that person knew that they were Johnny's friend, but Johnny knew they were.
while Republican Senator Blunt commented on Isaacson's bipartisan leadership, saying,
He was more focused on the best solution possible rather than the best possible solution.
Albert Stone came to hear Senators' comments on political polarization.
It's one of the top issues in America today. The unity of government is so important. And what this Isaacson event is about is just that. It's about finding unity, finding common ground, and getting some results.
While Blunt acknowledges the role politicians have had in political polarization, he also comments on the effects the media have also had. He says that different news outlets will report on the same event but offer different facts, putting the same story in a different context with political bias. Attendee Emmanuel Hernez agrees.
But a lot of people genuinely are feeling that the media plays into political polarization. If I go on Fox News or CNN and I hear different stories and different facts, that just doesn't help anybody.
Manchin spoke to the impact of the first annual Johnny Isaacson Symposium because of the way that UGA is honoring his legacy with their focus on political civility.
This is going to be the birthplace of civility in the political process now.
I'm Aiden Coulter with Grady Newsource.
House Speaker Mike Johnson introduced a two-step stopgap spending bill in order to avoid another government shutdown. He can only afford to lose 4 Republican votes to pass it. It extends funding for veterans, affairs, transportation, housing, and other programs until January 19th, and for the rest of the government until February 2nd, 2023. However, the bill excludes additional funding for conflicts in Ukraine or the Middle East. November 11th marked a special day for all Americans. Grady Newsource reporter Lindsay Bornhorst gives us a look at how Winder, Georgia honors Veterans Day.
Very, very honored and blessed. But I really do appreciate even getting nominated, and it's amazing when you're standing up there with the other women that have been nominated, and so much of an honor because I could pick them out and say they're the Woman of the Year because of all of their accolades and what they do in our community as well.
This is the 3rd time that Gina Roy has been nominated. The Jackson County Assistant Manager is one of 5 nominees, including Jennifer Langston, Sherry Moore, Lisa Richmond, and Brenda Walker. The award honors the hardworking and successful women throughout Jackson County. The Women of the Year luncheon will be held here at the Brazelton Civic Center from 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. on Wednesday. And this is where the over 300 people in attendance will be sitting. The event is hosted by the Jackson Area Chamber of Commerce, and Melissa Britt and Paige Main, who both work for the Chamber of Commerce, said this is one of their biggest annual events of the year.
It's one of 5 annual events that we hold, and those are our larger events. And so, yes, it is one of our top attended events.
Membership and Events Manager Paige Main says that Laura Hope Whitaker, the keynote speaker at the event, will be a little bit different than in years past.
She's the CEO for ESP, Extra Special People, out of Watkinsville. And we're really excited about her coming this year. Extra Special People, they're a member of the Chamber, and they have a lot of exciting things going on over there, lots of growth.
The event has taken place since 2008, with the 16th installment coming on Wednesday. Reporting in Jackson County, William Daughtry, Grady Newsource.
We apologize for those technical difficulties. After the break, we have a developing story of a shooting.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far. A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
An Athens Clark County student was injured in a neighborhood shooting this morning. The injuries do not appear to be life-threatening. The Clark County School District says that counselors are available to talk to any students who may have witnessed the event and ask citizens to keep them in their thoughts. This is an active investigation, and anyone with more information on the incident is asked to contact Sergeant Scott Black and Hovey Lister. Grady Newsource will keep you updated with the latest on this story. If you follow Newsource on social media, you have already seen updates on our live developing story today. Our digital producer behind those posts, Joe Copshow, joins me live in studio now. Joe, can you give us an idea of what it was like handling the digital media?
Yeah, I absolutely can. So you just talked about that live shooting. We brought that to the social medias earlier today. We thought it was extremely important to get that out early so that everyone knew exactly what they were dealing with. Unfortunately, the shooting did occur, but we made sure to get our facts straight and report it as soon as we could. So we reported that a 13-year-old student was shot earlier this morning before school started once we got the police report. So we also made sure to put out the press release from the Clark County Central Schools and made sure that, these students know that they have counselors that they can go to if they feel they do.
That's good. And you mentioned fact-based reporting. Can you describe what that means?
I can. As the digital producer today for Grady Newsource, it was important that I felt like I reported the exact facts, meaning that we don't leave anything out and don't bring anything in that's unimportant or wrong. So we only used primary sources that we fact-checked, like I mentioned, the police report and, of course, the Clark County Central Schools report. So there were many rumors circling about this topic, who did it, what could have happened, but we made sure we only reported the exact news while doing it with the utmost speed and getting it out as soon as we could.
You guys did it very well. Is there anything else you covered today that viewers would find relevant?
I think so. You mentioned earlier, Sailor came in and did a great live. She talked about fatal car crashes. We brought that earlier today, mentioned the name so that if you ever need anything important quickly, you can find it on our social medias. Also, many of the packages you'll see today, we feature on social media, and things that we have exclusive such as LinkedIn features and things like that we also brought on social media.
Thank you for joining me, Joe.
Of course.
The Jackson County Area Chamber of Commerce is hosting a Woman of the Year event on Wednesday. Grady Newsource reporter William Daughtry spoke to one of the nominees for the award.
Very, very honored and blessed. But I really do appreciate even getting nominated. And it's amazing when you're standing up there with the other women that have been nominated. And so much of an honor, because I could pick them out and say they're the Woman of the Year because of all of their accolades and what they do in our community as well.
This is the third time that Gina Roy has been nominated. The Jackson County Assistant Manager is one of 5 nominees, including Jennifer Langston, Sherry Moore, Lisa Richmond, and Brenda Walker. The award honors the hardworking and successful women throughout Jackson County. The Women of the Year luncheon will be held here at the Brazelton Civic Center from 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. on Wednesday. And this is where the over 300 people in attendance will be sitting. The event is hosted by the Jackson Area Chamber of Commerce, and Melissa Britt and Paige Main, who both work for the Chamber of Commerce, said this is one of their biggest annual events of the year.
It's one of 5 annual events that we hold, and those are larger events. And so, yes, it is one of our top attended events.
Membership and Events Manager Paige Main says that Laura Hope Whitaker, the keynote speaker at the event, will be a little bit different than in years past.
She's the CEO for ESP, Extra Special People, out of Watkinsville. And we're really excited about her coming this year. Extra Special People, they're a member of the chamber, and they have a lot of exciting things going on over there, lots of growth.
The event has taken place since 2008, with the 16th installment coming on Wednesday. Reporting in Jackson County, William Daughtry, Grady Newsource.
Athens-based nonprofit organization Project SAFE offers a temporary refuge for women experiencing domestic abuse, providing a safe space for them to escape the violence within their homes. Reporter Olivia Podes shares more.
At Project SAFE, we believe that everyone deserves to be safe in their home and safe in their relationships.
The mission of Project SAFE is to help work in domestic violence through crisis intervention,
Ongoing supportive services, systems change advocacy, and prevention and education.
1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men in the United States are victims of domestic violence each year, according to the National Institutes of Health.
We help people who are in a domestic violence situation, who are in danger. We try to help them stay safe immediately for themselves, their children, their pets.
Project SAFE answered 2,700 calls on their hotlines, 300 text conversations, and sheltered 113 people in their emergency shelter.
The only public place we have, because our clients are confidential, our locations are confidential, the only place we have with a sign out in front of it is our thrift store. But everything that we sell goes back into our mission.
Their primary service areas are Athens, Madison, Oconee, and Oglethorpe County. But if they need to help people from other counties, if there needs to be space between a victim and their abuser.
And that's not even including pets. We are a pet-friendly facility. We have foster.
Project SAFE also helps with the relocation of abused animals in households. In Athens, for Grady Newsource, I'm Olivia Podes.
Coming up after the break, Grady Newsource Gabby Kanzian has the weather.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Good evening, Athens. I'm Gabby Kanzian, and I'm your weather host for today. Today we had a high of 65 with mostly sunny weather. The low tonight is 43, so those chilly evenings and nights are remaining steady since daylight savings. Looking at the rest of the week in Athens, it seems like every day will have a high in the lower 60s. Tomorrow we will have a mostly sunny day with a high of 65 and a low of 46. Wednesday there is going to be heavy rain, and Thursday and Friday is light rain. All those days have pretty consistent temperatures with generally good and warmer highs. For all my sports fans traveling up, you're going to be excited about the weather this Saturday. Knoxville is going to have a high of 62 and a low of 39. Although this weather seems awesome, the reasons for these warmer temperatures are not so awesome. The European Union's Copernicus Climate Change Service just recently published an article stating that 2023 is virtually certain to be the hottest year on record. They also stated that this past October was the warmest globally going back to 1940. Humans are the main cause of this increasing temperature because of our fossil fuel emissions. A way to do your part and help prevent this is by reducing the input of carbon and try to pull it out of the atmosphere. Examples of what to do are reduce your food waste and use solar energy by putting in solar panels. Coming up after the break, we will hear from Ethan Wells about the Bulldogs this past weekend. I'm Gabby Kansian, and you're watching Grady Newsource live at 5.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise, on top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ethan Wells with Grady Newsource. The Georgia Bulldogs entered this weekend knowing a win against the number 9 ranked Ole Miss would clinch their spot in the SEC championship. However, Tennessee dropped a huge loss to Missouri directly before the Georgia game to clinch the spot for the Bulldogs. Nonetheless, the Dogs took care of their own business, defeating Ole Miss by a score of 52-17. Let's take a look at what happened and hear what head coach Kirby Smart had to say about the future.
While Sanford Stadium will not see another full crowd this year, the Dogs finished this year's home stretch in a memorable fashion. With number 9 Ole Miss heading into town, College game day was set at Myers Quad, previewing the matchup. The rain did not stop the fans from showing up early or the Dogs from continuing their dominance. While Ole Miss managed to tie the game up at the beginning of the second quarter, it was all Dogs after that. The Dogs would outscore the Rebels 38-3 after that touchdown. And by the time the fourth quarter red lights came on and the fans lit up Sanford Stadium, it was all but over. And even after the season's biggest win, Kirby Smart is focused on next week.
We're on Tennessee. It's a really difficult prep week, probably the hardest one of the year in terms of trying to replicate what they do. They do a tremendous job stressing you in all phases.
The Dogs received production from lots of players on Saturday, with 5 different players finding the end zone. Kendall Milton finished with a spectacular night with 127 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Georgia fans saw a much-awaited return of star Brock Bowers after his ankle injury sidelined him for 2 weeks. He finished the game with a modest 3 catches and 34 yards with a touchdown. The Dogs also saw Amarius Mims return on the offensive line from the same tightrope surgery as Brock Bowers. Moving over to the NFL, the Falcons could not find the same success as the Bulldogs this weekend. The Falcons dropped their game Sunday to the Cardinals in a tight one. The Falcons dropped their 3rd straight game, moving their record to 4-6. And looking around at some other Georgia sports, the Georgia women's soccer team is also having some success as they have advanced to the 2nd round of the NCAA tournament after defeating Liberty 2-1. The Bulldogs will take on the 5th-seeded Iowa Hawkeyes this Friday in Clemson, South Carolina.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
You know, a lot of people say, when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Make sure to come back this Wednesday for a special edition show on solutions from Grady Newsource. We will get an inside look from 5 local representatives from the surrounding counties: Oconee, Madison, Athens-Clarke, Jackson, Winder-Barrow. They will discuss the effects of economic growth in their community. We hope you will join us for that discussion. For Grady Newsource, I'm Kelsey Ball. Have a great night.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers, he connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only fire star.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found